So Rachel, I guess, did the ice conditions change out there? This building feels warm. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I think they're having a bit of trouble with the building itself. Nothing the ice makers can do, and yeah, kind of the frost really crept in there in the last half, and it was a lot tougher to make shots. But yeah, I know the ice makers know what's going on and trying their best.
And how did you guys feel when you played today?
Good, yeah. Learned as many lines as we can, and hopefully it's a little less frosty on Friday. And yeah, got all the confidence in the world. We've got the best ice makers here, so.
I just think this is an interesting field for this kind of money when you have like the university, the college champions, the under 25, and you have a club champion. Do you like this? I mean, do you like playing the college kids, basically?
For sure, yeah. It's great to, get them on this kind of stage, on a national platform, and getting some arena ice experience is really key for the kind of next gen to get them as much experience as possible. So it was great to play them. They made a ton of shots, and we had to make some big ones.
I'm going to ask you to sort of put yourself in their shoes, and even though the score is lopsided, what can they take out of a game like that?
Yeah, I think kind of like learning how to throw on arena ice, how the ice changes after the fifth end, as the game goes on. Yeah, there's lots they can take out of it for sure. Lots of great throws, and yeah, I thought they communicated well and played a great game.
Do you remember a game when you were at that stage in your career and you played a really established team at an event? Do you have any memories of a game like that where it was such a learning experience and your eyes were wide open?
Yeah, I think it was more at curling club events. So when we were that age, I remember playing Jennifer Jones and Deb McCormick and the Chinese teams that were doing so well. I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And yeah, being able to learn a lot from them and, their level of play rising up to how they were playing. So, yeah.
Knockout tournament is a different format. Do you like that? Do you like those kind of tournaments?
Sorry.
Knockout, having just you lose, you're out.
I mean, not my favorite to have all the time, but I guess you're bound to lose a couple here and there, and so it's nice to be able to still be in the bonspiel. But this is fun, once in a while to play something a little bit more cutthroat and exciting for fans and people tuning in, and I'm sure people are enjoying betting on it too.
It's like you never left this building. This place, you always seem to succeed here, and a good way to start this and put some money in the bank at the same time.
Totally, yeah. I think our team has been working hard at the beginning of this season to just nail down our foundations and go back to the basics and work on that. So I think we've done a great job with that, and I think it showed in this game.
As a takeaway from that Scotties, where you guys, probably exceeded a lot of expectations, what did you guys take away from that in terms of confidence?
Yeah, do you know what? I hate to say that, people kind of saw our Scotties finish as a surprise, but we were ranked, I think, 5th going into the Scotties and placed 4th. So I think we're just carrying on what we've been doing all season and all of last season, and just working on our game and doing what we do best.
I guess it's from the perspective that it was a breakout event, right? In
That's
terms
fair.
of people maybe not being aware of all that and being able to rise to that occasion and carry it into what is, let's face it, a very important curling season. It couldn't have happened at a better time for it.
Totally, yeah. Do you know what? I think the biggest takeaway that we've taken from it is just to go out with confidence, but also at the same time not to put too much pressure on ourselves. At the end of the day, it is just curling, and we love doing what we're doing. So I think that's the biggest thing for us.
This first grind through the Olympic qualifying process, too. I imagine this has been a bit of an eye-opener in some ways. I know everybody has a plan, but what's been your experience in terms of preparing for this season to come here?
Yeah, honestly, I think for us it's just playing as much as we can right now. We're kind of in the slams right now, but on the cusp of not being. So, it's just booking everything that we can possibly curl in and just having a jam-packed schedule that way.
Win number 1 for the new look Team Brown. That must have been satisfying for you guys.
Yeah, in our first event, we definitely didn't have the showing we wanted, but it didn't feel like kind of the record that we had. So we knew there was a lot left in us to give, and we did a lot of practicing over the last little while, and it definitely showed, and we were able to capitalize on that one there.
Besides the importance of the win and money in the pocket, what did you like about what you guys did out there today that showed some progress this season?
Yeah, I just think really capitalized when we had the opportunity. I think it's something that we didn't necessarily do in our first event. So we really kind of, when the other team had a miss, we had to make and kind of really force them into some tough situations and really adjusted to the ice. It was quite a bit different from practice. So it was a lovely surface, so we were really happy with it. But it was just a big change. But I think we really kind of dove headfirst into it and really committed to what we were seeing. We weren't kind of assuming it was going to be like practice. We really just like switched gears and went to it. So we were really happy with how it went.
You played a lot of games against Sarah Colton over the years, going back to juniors. Being her teammate now, what does she bring to this lineup? What did you like that you maybe didn't appreciate about her before as an opponent?
Yeah, no, actually our first ever game as TBC was against Sarah back in the Optimist. So it was a long time ago. It was back in 2011. So it was our first time ever playing her. She's an amazing teammate. I think she's done a ton of work with our sports psychologist Tracy, and I think she brings a ton of wealth of knowledge. Obviously playing with Carrie for such a long time, and Carrie is such a great player and brings so much knowledge as well, that she brings a lot of that to our team, and she's never afraid to kind of take in concepts that we're bringing, but she's also willing to bring in her own knowledge that she has.
Right.
It's a unique field in that there's a lot of money, but you have some really young teams who are maybe a little less experienced. Maybe you just played one of them. I guess, what's it like for you to maybe take on a young team that you don't see very often in a single knockout event?
It's tough because, you know, these young teams are up and comers. They make a ton of shots, and as you saw, our game was quite close. So you never know what can happen in a single game elimination, and it's so exciting for curling to have all this youth coming up. And I mean, it starts to make me feel a little bit old, but I don't feel like I was in their shoes that long ago, but it was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna ask you to put yourself in their shoes, and what, you know, maybe you remember games like that, but what this experience can do for teams like those in terms of keeping them in the game after junior, narrowing that gap between, you know, the under 25 and elite women's curling. Like, what can an experience like that do for a team like you just played?
It's huge. My mentality when I played against more experienced teams when I was in juniors or like early in my career was you have nothing to lose and you can learn so much. So the fact that they're here and they're competitive and willing to learn, I think that's going to help keep teams in the game. And what a great experience to play in an arena. Like, you don't get that very often at that age. So yeah, it's fantastic.
And to be on TV and
totally,
up
it's so fun.
All that stuff.
Do you remember the first game you played where you were kind of starstruck when you were a kid playing against an established team?
I remember, I'm trying to think if it was my last year or second last year juniors, we played in a bunch of women events, and we played, it was in Winnipeg, it was called a slam, but it was still just a curling club event, but we played Annette Norberg, and we played Kelly Scott, and we played all these teams that were like winning Scotties, winning Olympics, and we just went out and like we made a semifinal at a women's event, and it just gives you so much confidence to know that like, hey, we can compete with these teams, but it's so much fun to just be rubbing shoulders with all these people that you've watched for years. And I think that this event is great for that, especially having club championships and all those teams coming.
And how do you feel your team played today?
Really good. Yeah. I thought we played a really patient game, and that was kind of our goal. You don't know, being the first game on the ice, what it's doing, and we just said stay patient, and I thought everyone made a lot of great shots, and it was a fun game to play.